Turn my headphones up. Louder.
You going to the games tomorrow?
The Lions game?
No, man.
Oh, the Lakers?
Lakers Rockets.
Nah, bro. The Lions playing.
It's a morning game.
Winner take all Sunday night.
Oh, okay. Sunday night. Oh, yeah, never mind.
Nah. But see, the Lakers playing at 6.
6, yeah.
I didn't even know they was playing, but Gladys taking the boys, so.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? She taking the boys. It wasn't like it was like she didn't ask me to go. You know what I'm saying? She just said she's gonna take the boys to the game, so I didn't even know they were playing.
That's only
and I
game.
wasn't planning on going, so I ain't gonna be like, oh well, I know y'all going. Well, where y'all sitting at? I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna sit on that. Like, nah, y'all can go have a good time. Like, cause I just be feeling like if I want to see Bron, I just go see Bron. I don't care if I got to fly to LA. Like, I go see Bron. You know what I'm saying? He playing in Dallas Tuesday night. I drive to Dallas if I want to just see him like that. You know what I'm saying? So I might be one of those ones that's taking for granted his years. You know what I'm saying? I should definitely been on it like, hey, Bron coming to town. I'm going to see Bron.
Hell yeah.
But I really was. I ain't been to a Rockets game probably. I tried to go to a Rockets game last year, and they freaking never sent me my tickets. And I got the boys. We at the game. They wanted to go see Luka and Kyrie. I had bought tickets off like Ticketmaster. And they never sent the tickets. Easter Day.
Patrick, what the fuck, man?
They never sent the tickets. So I'm at the game.
I'm gonna send you this. We gotta comp this guy.
I'm at the game, like we're literally in the Toyota Center.
Damn, bro.
And we ain't got no tickets. I'm at the ticket place, like when they was like, they didn't send the tickets. I'm like, what? So now I had to take the kids back home and say, we ain't going to the game, guys.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm lucky because I've never seen him courtside. Like, I've been close. Like, Patrick hooks us up. So I told Slay, because, you know, Slay's a LeBron hater. All summer I was sending that stuff. I said, how about this, Slay? I will fly, because he thinks Paul George is the GOAT. He's tripping. Right. I'll fly to Philly this year when the Lakers travel to Philly, but you got to get me courtside seats. And we're making that happen. So I'm going to see LeBron courtside.
Really?
Yeah, I'm fucking excited. It's the 26th. I'm literally going to go there for that night and come right back.
Yeah.
Just to watch LeBron. So it's funny how you were just saying, I'll just go to Shooters in Dallas. I'm going to go see Bron.
Right, yeah.
So, damn.
You know what I'm saying? But see, what's crazy is when I was in Detroit, I used to see Bron every year, courtside. Like, I done literally been, like, right here. Like, in warm-ups, I'm throwing the ball back to Bron.
Damn, man.
Because in Detroit, they would give us, I would get, like, a 3-game package. Because I wasn't going to be out there the second half, you know what I'm saying, after football season. And basketball season didn't start till, like, mid-October, end of October. So I really only had November, December. And it only was like, all right, what's some good games in those first couple months, right? So I used to just do like a 3-game package. I get a 3-game courtside package for like $2,000, like $600 something, $700 a game, and I'm sitting literally right there next to the bench, behind the by the basket. Like I'm literally, and it's real courtside. It's not floor seats. See, floor seats and courtside is different. You know what I'm saying? You can be on the floor and still be 5 rows back and you can't really see because it's everybody. But courtside. So it was courtside. This is the goal right here. Be dunking. I'm like right here. Like, dang, that's Bron. And so then we had a game on Christmas, the day after Christmas, and I let the boys go. So Gladys took the boys to see Bron in Detroit when they were little. Courtside. So yeah.
Well, that'd be a good little segue into when we ask who's better, LeBron or Jordan. We all know that discussion. We already had it anyways. It's done. It's over with. Greatest. So anyways, this is what we got. This is your daily dose. Tell your truth. We have another longtime friend, longtime client, one of the hardest working men that I've trained in the way he operates and what he does. It is, I don't do stats, like I'm not the intro guy. I'm going to take a guess. I should know better. 10-year NFL career.
10 years.
10 years, 1 for 1. Drafted by the Houston Texans.
Yep.
Had a little stint with the Houston Texans. Were you on that 2011 team? They were balling?
11 and 12.
Okay, we're going to talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah.
And then goes to the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
And he is a 2-time Pro Bowler.
one time selected, 2-time alternate, but I didn't go.
Okay, he didn't go. Detroit, he never won a ring, though.
Never won a ring.
Never won a ring. But that is Glover Quin, friend, client, football player, entrepreneur, man of many traits. So, GQ, welcome to the show, man. This is our boy, Dwight Manfredi, your guy, Sly, who you love, who is facing me right now.
Sly making sure.
We don't have any ads. We don't have any sponsors yet. We got the Terramana Toast coming up. But we do got Congo Sups. And we do a little W segment, Jake Paul. Working on that one too. So GQ, thank you for coming on the show.
No doubt, man.
Pull this out. Oh, sometimes sorry, Priscilla. Sorry, Priscilla.
Come on, man.
Sorry, don't be licking that. And this is cool for me because I never get to really interact with these guys like that. I found a space that we can do this that I enjoy. I still got too much shit on mine.
Yeah.
All right. GQ, salute. Welcome to the Daily Dose. Tell you the truth. Yeah. Wherever you can find a spot. Woo. So yeah, with that being said, GQ, I guess let's talk about how you kind of, where you went to football, and where I went to football, because I'm talking about this team. What got you started with it, and what was your vision moving forward? Did you always want to be pro? And then my last subject, we got into a little bit of mental health too. I'm interested to see your take, what's going on with all that. So yeah, hit it off. Where you went to school and all that stuff.
Man, I went to probably one of the greatest colleges in the Mountain West, University of New Mexico. Yeah.
See my boys right here? Brett Smith, Robert Huron, NFL.
Who was that?
Just don't worry about it. They played at Wyoming. I got that just for you.
Who is that?
If you had to face these two when they were playing, y'all would have been in trouble. Okay. This guy right here would have cooked you.
Who?
Rob Huron. Shout out to Rob.
Who?
Exactly.
What year did he play?
Anyways, New Mexico.
What year did he play?
Here we go.
So yeah, man, I went to New Mexico, man. I went the JUCO route. I went, I played ball in high school. I mean, I've been playing ball my whole entire life, man. Football, basketball. I was that kid that was just gonna be out there every day playing against everybody. I didn't care, older, bigger, and I was gonna be the guy every time. Yeah. Football, basketball. I just knew how to play. I tell my mom now, I don't ever remember not knowing how to play. And I don't know if anybody remembers that, but I feel like some people remember, like, bro, I used to couldn't catch and, like, I figured it out. Or I used to couldn't dribble, or, I got better at, like, I feel like I don't ever remember not knowing how to do this stuff. And so it just came to me, and I wanted to be an athlete, man. My dad told me, when I was in 3rd or 4th grade, he was just like, you can play whatever sport you want to play as long as you keep your grades up. I'll let you do what you want to do. And so that was after I had made like a C on one of my report cards or whatever. And I got grounded for like 6 weeks, from not being able to go outside. And it's crazy because back then that was like real torture for me to have to stay inside for 6 weeks. Nowadays, these kids would be happy to not have to go outside. Like, that's not even grounding these kids nowadays. Hey, you can't go outside for 6 weeks. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so I just kept doing that, man. But what's crazy is I was a basketball player. I wanted to be a hooper, really. And so from when I was in the 8th grade, after we finished up our 8th grade basketball season, I finished the season with the varsity basketball team. So I was a middle schooler, but I was playing like high school at the end. And like I said, I've always played against older kids and people, so that never even bothered me. So I went out there and I played like 10 games with them in the season, and it was actually dope. And so I knew going into my freshman year of high school that I was going to be like the starting point guard of the varsity basketball team. And the varsity practice 4th hour, because we was on block schedule, so we only had 4 periods. So varsity basketball practice 4th hour, but freshman football practice 1st period. And so I knew when football season was over with in November, that I wasn't going to be able to go straight to varsity basketball practice because my period was first period. So I was like, I don't want to play football. I told my dad, like, nah, I don't want to play football no more.
Damn, I didn't know this.
I want
crazy.
I want to be a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a basketball player. And so the whole summer workouts and stuff like that, I didn't go to none of the football workouts. Only basketball. Go to the open gym, play basketball. Go to the open gym, play basketball. Go to basketball camps. No football. My best friend would come home every day from workout. Hey man, coach wants you to play football. He said he'll work with you. I was like, bro, I don't want to play. I was telling my dad, like, I don't want to get hurt playing football. I want to play basketball. I want to be a basketball player. And so that was my whole goal, man. I just wanted to be a basketball player. I didn't want to play football. And then the first day of school, my freshman year, so the way my school was set up, the field house was like right here, and the gym was right here, and the school was like right here. Mm-hmm. So we come out the side of the school, because it's 4th hour now, it's time to go to sports for us. So I'm walking this way going to the gym, and I see like all of my friends, bro. Like all of my homies, everybody was walking to the field house, and I was walking to the daggum gym, right? So I get in the gym, and it's like me and my cousin, and there's nobody else in there, bro. We just kind of looking around. I'm just like, I don't know about this, bro. Like, because most of the basketball players play football. You know what I'm saying? And so we go in the gym, man. I'm just looking around, bro. It's got like the coach's son in there. I'm just like, and we sat there for a while, bro. We talked with the coach, the basketball coach, and we just kind of looked at each other. It was like, man, let's go play football, right? But now I'm a freshman, but I'm going to varsity practice. You know, freshman practice is not in first period. I'm going to 4th period, like, coach, we want to play football. So I walk in. Mind you, the coach that had just moved up to high school, he was my middle school coach, so he knew who I was as a player. That's why he wanted me to play. So we walk in, coach, hey, coach, we want to play football. And he was just like, great, go get dressed. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really have a lot to say like that. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, all right, cool, go get dressed. It's time for practice, right? And so, you know, if you miss the first portion of training camp, you miss all of like the conditioning days and stuff like that. And the rules were different back then. So now we get to the first day, and they're in full pads already, right? So now I'm this little freshman kid that wasn't going to even play football, hasn't even been practicing football. But my first day of practice, I got to go with the varsity, and we're in full pads. Mm-hmm. I'm out there with the big boys. You know what I'm saying? And I played running back in middle school. So the coach know me as a running back. So guess where he's going to put me on the first day of practice? Scout team running back. Well, if anybody know anything about scout team, when you're the scout team, that means you're the person, you're the team that's giving the good guys a look. You're like the practice dummies. Mm-hmm. So I was like the practice dummy, but I wasn't a practice dummy. So I'll leave it at that. It was a great first day as a running back, and I was a varsity football player. So I had the grades, I did all that stuff. I took ACT early, all that good stuff. So I could have went D1 out of high school. I just didn't really get the looks. Mm-hmm. I was just a good football player. I wasn't a pretty football player. At that point, were you having aspirations of I want to do this for the rest of my life and go to the NFL and I can do it? I mean, I always wanted to be a pro player. Like I remember. This is funny. I remember when starter jackets and stuff was like. So I wanted to get a starter jacket so bad, right? Because I've always kind of like just correlated. I wanted to get a starter jacket. Well, back then when they had the starter jackets, they had another brand that looked like the starter jackets, but it was called Pro Player, right? It was a Pro Player jacket. I might remember that. And so it had the similar. Yeah, I think I know what it is. So my pitch to my dad, I was like, "Man, Dad, I want to get a starter jacket, man. I'm not a pro player yet, I'm a starter though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a starter, Dad. I want to get one of those jackets. I'm not a pro player yet. But it was just like, I knew I wanted to be a pro player, but in my mind, I'm not a pro player yet. I want the starter jacket, right? So I always wanted to go to the professional ranks, but I wanted to be a basketball player. And so I play football. I got all the grades, accolades, but I didn't get the offer that I wanted coming out of high school. I was supposed to go to Mississippi State. They had a coaching change at the year that I came out. The new coach, Sylvester Croom, they didn't recruit me. And so at that time, we didn't have all the transfer portal rules and all that stuff where you can just go here and there. It was like, hey, man, if you go to a D2 school or a smaller school, like you just kind of there for the long haul, right? And so I didn't want to go to a D2 school. I didn't want to go to a small, school. I didn't want to go to the SWAC at that time. I just felt like, you know what? I didn't get the offer that I wanted. I just go to JUCO. You know what I'm saying? I just go to JUCO, and then I reevaluate it because I felt like if I could go to those schools out of high school, I felt like I'd still be able to go to those same schools out of JUCO, right? And so I just didn't want to close my options off. So I went to JUCO, man. I didn't have, when I talk about my career and my journey, a lot of it is, decision making, ego, pride, all those things. And you have a lot of guys who are, too egocentric to go to JUCO. They feel like, they screwed up, they failed or whatever because they had to go to JUCO. And it's crazy because the new rules is kind of forcing majority of the kids, they're going to have to go to JUCO. But I went to JUCO, man, and, my first year, I'm planning to go there and play one semester and leave because I was a qualifier out of high school, so I didn't have to graduate from JUCO. So I'm planning to go there in a semester and leave, and then I break my arm in the second game. It's crazy, right? So now I'm out the rest of the season. So then that's when my basketball dreams ended because I was going to be a multi in college. Okay. Because the JUCO that I went to was crazy. The basketball coach was actually recruit me as like an 8th grader. Like I was already going to go there and play basketball. And I say JUCO and I speak on it. Where I'm from in Mississippi, going JUCO was like one of the main goals. Like I hear all these, none of these kids talk about going JUCO. Everybody out here talks about going major D1, Texas A&M, TC. Like nobody talks about going JUCO.
How much money I'm gonna make?
Right, but back then where I'm from, you just trying to get to JUCO. You just trying to get to the next, so you can get an opportunity, right? And so, I went to JUCO, and everybody in JUCO was telling me how I shouldn't be in JUCO. You know what I'm saying? Like the way I practice, the way I play, it's like, bro, like you're not JUCO guy. You know what I'm saying?
They're telling you like you're a guy.
Like you're a guy. Like I don't know why you here. I'm just like, man, but I'm just working. You know what I'm saying? I'm just working. I'm just trying to perfecting my craft. And it was just crazy, man. I played that first year. I broke my arm the second game, right? So then I gave my basketball dreams up because I'm in the cast my, the basketball season. So I finally get to the spring ball. I get my cast off and go through the spring, come out. It's time for the start. My second year, Hurricane Katrina hit.
Damn, right? Broken arm and Hurricane Katrina. What? When you broke your arm, were you ever worried about my football career's over too now?
Nah.
You're like, we can do it? Okay.
Nah, I never thought it was over. It was weird because when I came back, I was scared. Because
I know an injury is in a JUCO and then you're down again, then that's how you get replaced.
So when I came back, I was scared. So I used to go to practice with a big wrap on my arm because I was just scared, right? I didn't want it to get hit. I didn't want to hurt it. Now, mind you, when I broke my arm in the game, I finished the game. So I finished the whole game with a broken arm like this right here. And then I went the whole next week of practice with a broken arm. The only reason why I went to the doctor was because the next game got canceled due to a hurricane. And so we didn't get to play it. And so that was like, bro, my arm hurt. And so they took me to a doctor and it was
basically
broken.
what he's saying is, you fucking kids out there, if you listen to this, y'all motherfucking soft. Y'all need to get in line, work hard, and learn how to understand some pain. Some of you NBA guys too. God damn, broken arm that long?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
It's crazy. I'm at practice condition like this. Coach like, move your arm. I'm like, bro, my jug hurt, bro, but it was broken, right? So, boom. The second year, Hurricane Katrina hit.
Okay.
So in JUCO, we only had like 10 games, maybe
2 strikes
9,
right
8
there.
games. We 2 games got canceled. So boom, I'm playing. Next thing you know, I hurt my knee. But I didn't miss games. I just was having to play with a knee brace. And so I finished up my JUCO. I had, like, that year I caught like 2 picks. I took one back for a tub. So still coming out of JUCO, I didn't really have any, like, big offers or, like, major offers. It was a lot of the smaller schools back at home, Nickel State,
And you're not getting
Delta
stressed.
State.
You're not getting stressed out right
You
now.
know,
like, man, I'm not gonna make it. It's getting harder and harder.
I'm not
Like
even.
that came in your head.
You know what? I was never really even thinking that, man. I was never really thinking I'm not gonna make it. Like, I always wanted to go to the NFL, but it just seemed so far away. You know what I'm saying? So I was really just on my journey. But the thing that I was doing, I was really just setting myself up in every aspect. Like, I went to JUCO, and I didn't have to graduate from JUCO, but I was there. And so the fact that I was there, I was like, if I'm going to be here, I might as well graduate.
Okay.
So my first semester of JUCO, you had to have 64 hours to graduate. So my first semester of JUCO, I took 20 hours in school. That's during football season. My second semester of JUCO, I took 20 hours. So my first year at JUCO, I had took 40 hours. The summer came, I took 6 hours. So I was at 46. So my third semester came at JUCO, I took 18 hours. So I was done with the qualifications to graduate from JUCO in 3 semesters. So then when I played my second year, Katrina hit, I only played in a few games. I had other things on my side from a standpoint of I could transfer mid-year. So that makes you more valuable as a prospect because now you can get into these colleges, go through the off-season program with them, go through the spring with them, kind of like get a head start, right? You don't have to wait till the summer and see if you're going to graduate to then come out, right? And so, and I was leaving with a degree. You know what I'm saying? I had already had my associate's degree in the bank. And so what crazy is I go through that season, still wasn't getting any offers or whatever. I went to a couple of visits on smaller schools. And then all of a sudden, my coach, he ended up getting an opportunity to coach the JUCO All-Star game. And so by him getting the opportunity to coach the JUCO All-Star game, he get opportunity to, obviously you get the guys that get voted as All-Stars, but then you get to bring, some of your guys, right? So I end up being one of those guys that got to go to the JUCO All-Star game. And when I went to the JUCO All-Star game, I was healthy, and my versatility is what shined through. I played corner, I played safety, and I played linebacker. I had a pick, I had a sack, I had a forced fumble, all in the JUCO All-Star game. The week or so after the JUCO All-Star game, boom, I get a call from New Mexico.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So the JUCO All-Star game is what helped me get noticed by them. So New Mexico, they had graduated 3 seniors that year in the defense as a corner, 3 of them. They had graduated. So for New Mexico to compete, they had to really recruit Mississippi JUCO because Mississippi JUCO is one of the top JUCO leagues in the country. You got Mississippi and Kansas, right? So they recruited Mississippi JUCO. And so, because, at that time, Utah was in the Mountain West.
Wyoming.
BYU was in the Mountain West. TCU was in the Mountain West.
Wyoming.
We didn't worry about Wyoming. You know what I'm saying?
7220 altitude,
all of the
brown
top,
and gold, beer song. Cue it up, Aaron.
All of the top kids, in Texas that wasn't getting the opportunity to go to those big schools, they was probably going to choose TCU before coming to New Mexico. Okay. You know what I'm saying? The Utah kids, they're going to go to Utah before coming to New Mexico. So you're getting kind of like the third fiddle of the guys. So for them to be able to compete, they recruited JUCO heavy. So they had 3 seniors leaving. They need somebody that can come in and play. So they need a JUCO corner. They come to New Mexico. They see me play, and I can leave mid-year. Boom, that's perfect. I can come in and go through the spring with them. So then I go on a visit to New Mexico, and we played a lot of roll cover 2, cover 3 in JUCO. But Coach Long, they played straight man-to-man, zero blitz, like all type of stuff like that. So when I go on my recruiting trip, I actually went outside and like did one-on-ones with wide receivers and stuff like that to show the coaches that I could cover. And so I did that and ended up, going out there, and the city was cool, the school was cool. And like I said, I ended up doing one-on-ones on my recruiting trip. So like I said, a lot about my story is you're going to hear like ego stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if I would have went out there and been like, nah, bro, like I'm not going out there doing one-on-ones. Uh-huh. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got me here on the recruiting trip. You either want me or you don't. You know what I'm saying? What would have happened? What if they said, well, we don't know if you can cover. We don't feel confident giving you a scholarship. Now I got to go to a smaller school. Like, what happens, right? But I didn't have an ego. You want me to go out there and play? I feel like I can do it. Bump it. I go out there and I show what I can do. But now what that did for me was it just put another chip on my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Like every day I just felt like I was going out there. I felt like I had to prove myself every single day. You know what I'm saying? I never felt like I was comfortable with the head coach and stuff like that because I had to freaking do one-on-ones just to get a scholarship. So every day when I went out there, it was like I had a chip on my shoulder every single day. Every single day. And the receivers that I went against in the one-on-ones, every single day I went out there to dominate those guys. Every single day. Because they're part of the story, and they'll be like, I was the reason why you got, you know what I'm saying, a scholarship. You was out there doing one-on-one. Right. And I wanted to let you know every single day why I got this scholarship. You know what I'm saying? That's
the mentality that motherfuckers are missing to be great. That's like so hard because like I'm so blessed to train you guys, and where I'm at with training new dudes or trying to, it's, Dre told me, he said, Dose, you've gotten to a point where you want it more than them. And he said that. I'm like, fuck, that really is the case because you guys, when I was able to train you guys were so like, it's not me being an old head. It's like, show up on time, put the work in, recover, wake up, do it again. It was never about kind of showing up or this is too hard or this is like today I can't relate to these dudes. And a lot of it is like, you're talking about going after every day and dominating, having a chip on my shoulder. Every day. And I love that because that's how I live. I live my life every day. I'm talking about win the day and then dominate. Like this is how you apply that to your NFL. I mean, your whole NFL life. I have that same mentality in training. I'm going to be the first one up. I'm going to manifest and put the work in every day, sculpt change physically, mentally, my body, build the best gym and environment every day. And if you're in my way, you're going to move. Like nothing's going to stop my journey. And I think that's why something you and I can relate to. And I think that's where you gain your respect for me because, I'm a Wyoming kid coming to train these guys for the first time. And they can train with whoever they want. And I was always scared because I was only 23. Mm-hmm. And being dumped in a pool of dudes who are pretty legit at the time. Luckily for me, I don't know NFL stuff like that. So I was talking to Taj. Taj knows football. He said, yeah, you got a pretty good squad. So when I was telling him who I was training and stuff, it was cool to know, like, I'm going to find out if I'm going to dominate this. And I think I was able to gain your respect, yeah?
Yeah, I think the thing that worked for you was work ethic for one, but it goes back to the same thing. Ego. To me, ego comes from false confidence, in my opinion. So people have to put on and act a certain way. Guys who are truly confident that they put in the work, they don't really talk about it. They just go out and do it. You know, so they don't come across as a guy being having a huge ego. It's the ones that talk and try to, you know. And I think that was the biggest thing, because you came in, you had the work ethic to work, but you also was willing to learn, right? Like you said, I don't know football stuff like that. So when we were out there doing training, it was, hey, I'm focused on really the movement side of things. I can always tell when you're not running proper, your heel strike isn't good. But some of the football stuff, I'm trying to learn. Like, what do you guys want to work on? Like, what do we need to do? And then you created a training aspect to work on those things. Okay, cool. I see, you know, hip, you know, crossovers and strong hips. All right, cool. So I'm gonna make sure we're working on those crossover steps. And then you created in a training sense so that we can work on the little things that carried over to football. And like I say, the work ethic, when we was going to the field, we going to the track, showing up to the gym every day, pushing guys, not feeling like, oh, that's Andre, I can't, you know, say like, hey, let's go. Like, oh, that's Arian. Like, I can't talk smack because I don't want him to leave me or whatever. It was like you had the perfect group of guys that was here and wanted to work, wanted to be coached. Arian had a chip on his shoulder. I had a chip on my shoulder. And Dre was just that guy that'll work. And like and so it was just a perfect fit and group of guys. But a lot of it had to do with players' egos, your ego, just a good work ethic and a great environment. And he was able to train some great guys and then turn into, like, you know what I'm saying, this major dude, you know what I'm saying? So,
My guy.
you know, for a lot of these guys, that's the thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with feeling like, and that's why, you know, this is the thing about me. I say this all the time, right? You have these guys that be young guys, right? And they'll come in and they'll have a good year and they ask them, you know, do you think you're the best corner or safety? And say, I got to feel like I'm the best or this. And I always disagree with that. Because I don't feel like you have to feel like you're the best. There's nothing wrong with knowing I'm really good, but I ain't the best yet. I ain't done it long enough to be the best yet. But I'm really good at what I do, and I'm going to be the best, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to work. I'm willing to do all those things to prove and show that I'm the best. But mentally, I know there's guys out there, they're a little better than me right now. But I'm working to be that. And I always feel like that's a huge thing to me.
But don't you think, because of that mentality that I feel like I have too, I don't think I'll ever will be the best. You never feel like you're the best. It's work. It's the constant pursuit. Yeah. Am I not right? So I hope like people are listening to this, because this is the gems that why I wake up and I work so hard and I do things is that arena is his game 7. That's your NBA finals. That's your LeBron blocked by James moment. Every day is like that. And you have to have that mentality. So when we watch high level performers, and I'm not a pro, so I don't speak too much, but I got my opinion. You see high level performers have a 10-year career. It doesn't happen by accident. And that happens with everything he talks about having a chip on your shoulder and being the best every day, dominating and learning, and a work ethic. I think people, and just in everything in life, they expect it to come like this because of who you are or whatever it is. But like, you've never met a millionaire that came overnight.
Right.
You never met a player and that came overnight. Even Jordan, LeBron, any guys you look up to, it didn't happen overnight. It was years and years and years of work. And I want people to understand that, like, 10 years in the NFL takes that mentality. That's the Mamba mentality they talk about. That's the Congo mentality. It's because he fucking wants it.
Yeah. I mean, that's really it, man. I wanted it. I developed, like I said, chips on my shoulder. I always believed in myself. And I just wanted the opportunity, and I always wanted to make the most of that opportunity. And, you know, I was never one of those guys, like, I'm not a prove somebody wrong type of guy. That's just never really been, you know, who I am. I don't really like giving energy to that. And what I mean is, I'm a prove people right type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't want me, that's okay. I'm not finna go use my energy to put into, oh, I'm gonna show them that they didn't want me. No. You gonna give me a chance? All right, great. I'm gonna give you my all my energy is gonna go towards making you realize that you took a chance on the right dude.
See, I'm a little bit of both.
You took a chance on the right dude. Because once I show you that you took a chance on the right dude, guess what? They gonna realize that they messed up.
Well, that's kind of your career too. You're a cold, like, this guy's smooth. If I had to give GQ a nickname, that man is smooth. Real ninja like too. Boy, he walks into training, black pants, black shirt, Detroit, simple, looking like a pro in the gym when he doesn't have to. Every time, moving. Just, I see you at the track, second workout, like it was nothing. Just real smooth.
That's it, man. Oh. But like I say, my
that's
focus.
That's a dub right there.
You know, that's what I'm saying. My focus was really on that, and that's from everywhere that I went. Like when I went to New Mexico, I only had one offer, and I had to earn my way to get it. But I was still like, from where I come from, to have an opportunity to go to New Mexico, to have an opportunity to be out there, to even go through the one-on-ones, that was huge to me. And so I really wanted to show New Mexico that y'all did the right thing by coming to Mississippi and finding me. You know what I'm saying? When I got drafted to Houston, like, I was a 4th rounder. Like, I really wanted to show that y'all didn't waste a draft pick.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So you got drafted 4th round. 4th round?
4th.
You talked about the ego. So just from hearing from what you're saying, when you were drafted 4th round, you were probably, this is awesome, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you would say your upbringing wasn't the best upbringing as far as, like, financially and stuff.
Right.
You guys had it. You had to earn things the way where you come from. So right. I was always interested in when someone like yourself. What was that first contract? Getting that first from basically kind of not really having nothing but much, and then now. You're in the NFL.
You know what, man? It was actually weird, bro. Like, so I got drafted. And I was living in Mississippi with my parents, right? So I got drafted. So I'm at home. Houston, we didn't have rookie mini camp.
Okay.
So most of the teams, they have rookie mini camp. So you get drafted, they fly you out that weekend. You go into practices and all that stuff. We didn't have rookie mini camp, so we showed up the first day of OTAs. Well, OTAs, I reported May the 17th. I got drafted April 26th. So I was home in Mississippi for 3 weeks after I got drafted, but I didn't have any money.
Okay.
I was broke, living at home with my parents. But everybody in my town, guess what? You got drafted. He in NFL. And I'm sitting there like, I'm broke. I don't have any money. Like, zero. I'm still going to the track at Southwest, running. I'm still going to school. My dad was, he had like a floor company. He was cleaning, like, buffing and waxing floors at the school. I'm up there helping my dad, wax the floors as I was drafted. But being home for 3 weeks with no money made me realize what it felt like to be broke when everybody think you got money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never wanted to feel like that ever again. And so when I got to the NFL, I got to Houston, go through the OTAs, had a great OTAs, get the contract done. And so now you done signed the contract. Mm-hmm. I still didn't have any money because when you sign, you don't get the money like the next day. So I got the money, like, I think it was supposed to come like 3 weeks later. I got my first installment. So I signed 4 years, $2.2 million, right? 2.2 for 4 years. I had a $490,000 signing bonus. A guarantee.
On top of that.
No, guaranteed. So
Guaranteed.
That's part
life
of
changing. $490,000 from
part of
fucking
it.
broke to none of that.
Yeah. And so I go to the first week of practice. So I wake up on that Friday when I'm supposed to.
Good job.
Bro. So check this out. I wake up on that Friday when the direct deposit is supposed to hit, right? I wake up on that Friday. First thing I do, bro, grab my phone. I'm going to the daggone account. Open up my account, and it hit. I looked at my account. I had $354,000. All right?
Guaranteed.
I had $354,000 in my account. So the payout was like $352,000. So I had like $2,000 in my account. And the first thing I thought about, bro, honestly, was like, dang, my signing bonus was $490. They only put $352. They put they took $140,000 in taxes. I literally was like, you know how long it take my mama to work to earn $140,000, and they just took that out in taxes? Dang, it was crazy, bro. It was just like...
That's what you were thinking about.
That's what I thought about. When I literally was like, dang, bro, you know how long it take my mama to earn $140,000? And they just took that out in taxes. And I looked at that $352K. $354 was in my account. And I was just like, dang, man. I got up, got dressed, went to practice. Deposited half of it in a different account, and I just went to work every day. I never was like, all right, I'm finna go buy me this. I was just like, all right, I'm finna go to work. And I had never seen that kind of money ever in my life, but I still had to go to work,
It's
man.
crazy.
It's crazy.
So two things. I don't think anyone, not even me, none of us are educated, especially athletes. I think it's doing a better job now, educated to know what to do with that money. So you see a lot of these guys that go broke, or even you may have had former teammates, whatever, go through the same thing and they go broke because of the way they spend, or no one even taught them about taxes. So hold up, this goes to what? That's the first thing I like to get your insight on how did you learn that, or did you have a oh shit moment where you had to learn it because you went broke? Like I remember Shaq talked about it. Shaq went and bought like fucking, this is NBA money though, bought 7 cars because the guys said they couldn't,
right? And
then he only had $2 million in his account, and he just got a $20 million, $18 million contract, and he goes, hey, I'm almost broke, so I had to wait for the next paycheck,
right?
And that was his trigger. So I'm curious, and if you had an oh shit moment, and then this. I wouldn't say stressors, maybe stressors of, being where you come from and no money to, well, good money, and then we'll get to your next contract too, how that's even more life-changing. If there was any burdens or stressors as you're kind of the golden child to your brother, sisters, family, and people like, gimme, or were you a giver? So kind of like highlight on those couple things. And education financially, who you learned from eventually to grow you into a big investor and stuff.
So I was a business major at New Mexico, so I had liked that world or whatever. And when I was in business school, I met my financial guy, who's my financial guy to this day, Humble. And so it was crazy, bro. We would actually sit in business classes and like talk about like what we were gonna do. Like when we first met, I was like, yeah, bro, I'm trying to make it to the league. You know what I'm saying? Yada, yada, yada. And he was like, man, I want to, manage, finances for athletes and entertainers, protect them from like the sharks of the world and the people. And I was like, all right, cool, bro. Like, sure, when I make it, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to make it. You're going to be, this and that. And, like, every time we see each other, we're like, bro, it's just crazy. 20 years later, we freaking did it. And we still doing it, you know what I'm saying? And so when I got drafted, I wasn't, you got 2 types of people, you know what I'm saying? You got the people that never had it, and when they finally get it, they this. And you got the ones who never had it, and when they finally get it, they like, I mean, I done went 20 years of my life without it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
cool mentality.
for me, it wasn't a situation where it's like, all right, now I finally got money. I'm just finna go and turn it into something that I've never been. You know what I'm saying? I was never really into jewelry, so I didn't get money and just start going buy jewelry. I didn't grow up with a bunch of cars and stuff, so I wasn't really into like the cars. So I wasn't. I mean, I drove the same car that I had in college, a 2006 Honda Accord. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really into like the fashion and all that stuff. So I really didn't have a lot to spend my money on, honestly. I bought a house and, you know what I'm saying? And so when I got ready to work with Humble, you know, he told me something that was really important. At first I was just like, man, I don't really have a lot of money to like, I don't even know why I need a financial advisor right now. And he told me, he was like, now is the time that you need him the most. Mm-hmm. You know, he was like, you don't have room for error. You know, guys that get 20, 30, like you say, Shaq, he went out and did this and that.
And 2 weeks later.
And he still was up, though. Like, you had room to make an error. When you don't have any money, you don't have room to make those errors. So you got to do everything strategically right to give yourself time to, boom, get to that next one. As opposed to those guys, they get a lot of cash. They might make some mistakes, and then it might take them 6 years to really figure it out. And now, you know, they trying to recoup that money that they blew early in their career, so they just plan or they trying to just hang on as long as they can, as opposed to doing what you need to do early, saving, stacking, position yourself, and now you can walk away after 9 years like Megatron and be done made, you know, high, you know what I'm saying? And so I started working with him, and I literally, you know, just let them help me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I wasn't a huge spender anyway. And so I just listened to them, man. And that was the one thing about me that I also tell people, you gotta be smart enough to know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, putting the right people around you, that's a part of the journey, in a sense. Do I know finance? Of course. Do I understand it? Of course. I went to school for business. I understand it. But is that what I do every day? No. So why would I feel like I know more about it than these people? Like, I'm going to let you guys do it exactly how it need to be done. But I had a relationship that I trusted them. So, boom, we were able to work with it. Some of these guys, they're meeting new people that's trying to manage their money, and they don't know them, and they stealing. Like, I didn't have to deal with that because Humble was like my friend. Like, we the same age. We went to school together. Like, we were just like two little kids. Hey, we're gonna go through this thing together. And, you know, so it was a little different for me, but I literally just did what they said. It was like I say, I got my 352. They took 250 of it, 220 of it. I think they took 220 and put it away in a investment or savings, whatever they did with it. 220 of it, put it away, and I had 130. That's kind of how I started my life. Bought my house, you know, I got a Tahoe, I had a truck, you know, I just kind of know the Denali. So I just kind of started my life, I had 130. After my rookie year, we used to get this check, like a performance-based pay based on like the amount of plays you played throughout the season. And I played a lot my rookie year, so my performance pay was like $240K. And so they took 120 out of that 240K and put that away. You know what I'm saying? So after my rookie year, I already had just a lot of money put away from my signing bonus and my performance-based pay. And so every year, that's just kind of what we was doing. It's like, all right, boom, put some away. Boom, put this away. Boom, put this away. And so I was able to, you know, save and do some good things. But a lot of it came from, like I said, I didn't really have anything that I was just crazy about spending on. And I always viewed money as like the same way I did growing up, man. I'm still that way to this day. Like $100 is still $100 to me, bro. Like $1,000 is still $1,000 to me, bro. And there's certain things that I'm just like, nah, bro, like that costs too much.
I'm not doing it.
You know what I'm saying?
You were so you made that was your first stint. There's a couple things I'll lead you into. That was your first stint with the Texans. When was your payday? When you were starting to do very, very well and you're starting to make a name for yourself. What was that contract?
So the
big one.
The first big one that I got, well, I would say for me, in a sense. So in my rookie contract, I had what you call an escalator clause, so I signed for 2.2. But I had an escalator clause that if you hit these certain incentives or playtime amount and this and that, and the team has a certain type of success, then your last year, your salary will go from $585 to like 1.3. And so I starting the fourth game of my rookie year. So I started the rest of my rookie year. I started my second year, third year, fourth year. So I had definitely hit all of the playtime marks
to make
and
big
then,
money.
2011, we were like the number one defense in the league, top 5. 2000, you know what I'm saying? So the defense was playing well, had improved, everything showed. So my fourth year in the league, instead of me making $585, I got a bump in my salary to like 1.3. Okay. So I went from $480 my third year. Because my first year, I think it was like $310. My second year, it was like $385. My fourth year, it might have been like $460. I think it was $480 maybe. And so I went from $480 my third year to $1.3 my fourth year. Like, that's a major, like, the checks just look different. You know what I'm saying? So then after my fourth year in Houston, that's when I was a free agent. And I ended up going to Detroit. And that whole story was crazy too. But I ended up in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And when I was in Detroit, I signed a 5-year deal for, 20+ mil. And at the time, that was a major deal.
Yeah, that was one of the higher ones for quarterbacks at the time. So 5-year, $20 million Detroit.
Well, it was 20 plus. It wasn't 20. 20
plus.
I think it was like 20.
He's in undisclosed deals with the numbers.
Well, no, I think it was like 20. I think it was like 24, 23 plus.
I was dreaming about that money.
I think it was like 23 something, 24, right around. It was a little under 5 a year.
So like that definitely separates you from the first contract. Did you ever feel the pressures of friends or family or the burden of I got to take care of everybody, or like that whole aspect of getting the money and then you have people around you and how you kind of handled all that?
Yeah, I mean, you do feel that, you know what I'm saying? You do feel like, you want to help everybody. At least I did. Definitely felt that way with, with my parents, with my siblings. You want to do a lot of things, but then you just kind of have to look back and realize like, okay, you can't do everything. And sometimes you have to understand that sometimes saying no is more helpful than just giving it to them in the long run. And so you just got to be smart, make good decisions. It's tough, though. I will say it is tough because, you start to feel like, certain things that you're buying and you're getting and your people, they're not in the same situation. And so, when you do go out to dinners and stuff where, you feel like obligated to pay for them. Just different things like that, and those things just kind of lead to just a lot of stuff. And I mean, being able to navigate that stuff and understand, the situations to help, not to help, things like that go a long way. Saying you can have, yes men or no men or whatever. You know, saying a lot of time people try to say, you know, your financial guy just, you know, call my financial people, and then your financial people telling your family no. Well, your family know you one talking to your financial guys. You know what I'm saying? You trying to blame it on the finance guys, but at the end of the day, it's your money. You can do whatever you want to do. You're telling him to tell us no. So, yeah, he's saying no, but we know it's coming from you. So then you still have... So at the end of the day, you still got to deal with the problem. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just finding ways that you can really make change, do stuff differently, be strategic. You know, and one of the biggest things that I kind of dealt with was a lot of times, you know, people may not want to bother you, right? They may not want to ask you for stuff, because, you know, well, we don't want to be this or like that, right? And I was more of I would rather you ask me first. Don't wait till your back is against the wall to ask me, because now I feel I have to
really do this.
You call me on Sunday night, you need it Monday by 4. Well, if I say no, you could have called me a month ago. And I may not have given it to you, but I could have maybe thought of different ideas, different things, different ways to handle this. Like, hey, no, we could just do this. We don't have to do all that. Just because I may have people that can help us, like, hey, let's run it by such and such and see what they say. You know, we may have a different options of different things that we can do, yada, yada, yada. But you trying to exhaust all these options that you feel like, and none of them are panning out for you, and now you get down to the crunch time, and now you call me. And now I feel obligated to do it because the deadline is tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think, you know, these stressors like that, I consider that a stressor. And I consider you a high-level performer. You know, all this stuff that's going on with CTE and post-life retirement, mental health has become a thing, right? I would like for you to elaborate what's life like for you, like now, life after football. I know guys struggle with identity. I know guys struggle, they got all this money and they're not happy. I know guys struggle with the show's not on me anymore, so what the hell do I do with myself? And I think you had I'm sorry, man, I forgot his name. He just passed away. Jacoby Jones. Had a friend and teammate pass away, and so I just want to get your take maybe on like the stressors of if you've suffered or had people suffer around you about mental health, and if you have any advice, you know, for people like that. And it doesn't even have to be football players. It's life for people in general, like just trying to figure it out. And obviously you're got the demographic of the football crowd.
You know what I'm saying? So I got batteries, I got Mophys, and I just set it up there.
High-level performer, chip on his shoulder with the batteries in his pocket.
Man, bro.
So we were talking about the mental health, your take on that, and if you've anything that stresses you out or if you've suffered from it. So honest truth. This is all about telling the truth.
Yeah,
so.
Man. I mean, I don't really talk a lot about mental health because I don't want to downplay it. But I don't know if I struggle with any of it, in a sense. So when it comes to like, you know, the CTE, all that stuff, like I feel like a lot of times it be the stressors in their lives that trigger a lot of things. And I don't know if we can always call it CTE. You know what I'm saying? People go through divorce and they deal with it a certain way. People live a lifestyle, and when that lifestyle is over with, sometimes they can't recover from what they were and walk into who they are. And so they have triggers, right? They look for ways to get a certain feeling, so they have triggers. And then when something happens, you know, we look at the brain and we say, oh, they had CTE. I mean, it's probably a lot of people walking around with that stuff. I mean, Troy Aikman retired from concussions. I mean, and I'm not saying that he don't struggle with certain things, but what we see is he show up every week. He called the football games. He talked like he, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But then you see other guys that their life is in shambles. They went through a divorce. They got scammed out of a lot of money. They on drugs or this and this and that. And now their life is this. And then all of a sudden they go off the deep end. And then, so I don't really talk a lot on that because I don't really understand. I don't know, you know, what triggers people and things like that. But I do feel like those stressors have a lot to do with the things that you deal with in life. And, you know, for me coming out of the game, like the game was never who I was. It was always just what I did. And I always looked at it as a job. I never got into the game and tried to turn into a celebrity or this. Like I literally just wanted to play football. And I didn't I wanted to play football and use football as a stepping stone to the rest of my life. Like I didn't go into the game to turn into somebody that was just like, I literally was just trying to play so I can create a better life for myself, make some money. That way I can do the things in life that I wanted to do. And so I never really got caught up in the lifestyle of it. And so for me, I put everything into my 10 years. I played every game except for one. I showed up to practice.
Great trainer.
I showed up to practice every day. You saw me in the summer. I worked. I trained hard. So I put everything into those 10 years. So when my time was up, because I only wanted to play 10, I knew how long I wanted to play. I talked to some guys and they don't know how long they want to play. And we're never guaranteed to play that long, but at least you have an idea. You have a goal like, hey, man, I'm trying to play 15 years, or hey, I want to play whatever, because that's going to dictate how you do a lot of stuff. If you know you only want to play 5 years, you got to save every dime you got. But if you know you want to play 15, you might live a little lavish. Oh, I'm going to do this for 15, 20 years. I'd be good, right?
And that's just never guaranteed.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I only wanted to play 10. And so I did everything I could to get to that point. And when I got to that point, I didn't feel like the game owed me anything, and I didn't feel like I owed anything to the game. So when it was time for me to walk away, I was okay. I was ready to walk away.
But did you have a plan? Was there a plan, or you were just going to go with the flow?
Well, see, but that's the thing.
Is there a plan after retirement?
By doing my career the way I did, I didn't have to rush into anything. So I had time to just retire. So I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a plan outside of playing football. I didn't have a plan. My plan was to play football and get my education. I didn't know what I would be if I didn't play football. But I knew I would have had an education. I would have found a job or somewhere, figured something out. Because I had an education. But I didn't have a plan. Hey, if this football don't work out, this is my plan B. I didn't have plan B. I was all plan A. My plan B was while I'm in school, I'm going to get my education. But after that, I was all plan A. And I was all there. And luckily it worked out for me. So I can be okay telling that story. But other people, it may not work out that way. And they may wish they had a plan B. But understanding what plan B is. Plan B to me is taking advantage of opportunities that you get from plan A. Getting to be in certain rooms and networking. You don't know exactly what you're going to do when you're done, but I got this network of people that I can lean on, right? That's part of my plan B. In the off season, hey, I need to take a couple weeks off football. What do I love doing? Finding little hobbies, not something that's taken away from your time during the season, but it just gives you a, you know what, I came home, I don't really feel like studying today. I need a break, so I'm just going to build something like, I don't know, just like a little hobby, right? And then those things turn into what I call hobby jobs, right? This is just what you love to do. Because at the end of the day, to me, football was a hobby, right? Football was something that we all did and we didn't get paid for. We just did it because we loved it. That's what a hobby is. You do it because you love it. But then you do it so much that you get good at it that people are willing to pay you for it, right? And so I never had a plan. Even when I retired, I didn't have a plan. I literally didn't have a plan. I just retired. I knew I was done, and I had bought myself some time to figure it out.
It's a very interesting tape because majority of who I've spoke with so far and just talks upon ourselves is like, you've said it in such a positive light. Like, I retired, but I didn't have a plan. And in other aspects of it, it's, I retired, I didn't have a plan. Oh, fuck, what am I going to do? And now you're stressing about what are you going to do? But the way I'm seeing it from you is like, it's okay. And you just got to navigate it through it. So it's interesting that that's your take on it. And now that, like, how many, 5 years removed?
6 coming up.
Do you still feel the same way? Or you're like, I kind of fucked this up? Or what's kind of like your what's GQ now? Like, what's now?
I feel
same
great.
thing?
It's the same thing because I've just kind of let my life, dictate my next moves. I mean, I love being a father. And so that's guided or played a role in decisions that I've made in retirement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's opportunities that I haven't taken just because I didn't want to have to leave my kids and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when I was playing, I always said I didn't want to be an NFL coach. When I showed up in the morning at 5:30, the coaches are there. When I leave in the evening at 7 o'clock, the coaches are there. When I'm laying in the bed, I'm getting messages from the coaches at 12 o'clock because they're watching film, or 10:30, they just not getting ready to leave the building. I'm just like, why would I take a job where I'm gone more than I was when I was even playing?
Yeah.
So being an NFL coach was something that I didn't want to do. So I've had to pass on opportunities because that wasn't what I wanted to do. I could have got into the media. I didn't want to be in LA. I wanted to be here going to games with my kids. Like, that's what I wanted to do. So now it's like, okay, if this is what I'm gonna be, I gotta find something to do that aligns with that. And so that's how I got into the camera stuff. I always kind of liked the camera stuff, but I was like, if I'm gonna be going to these games, all my kids' games, why would I pay somebody to come take pictures, do videos, when I'm at all the games, I'm at their practices, I'm at home with them, I'm everywhere with them. Why can't I do that? So I bought a camera.
And when I love the take on this. So like, I think you let things organically happen to you, and you create these hobbies like the camera and then the framing, and you just kind of pick and choose and maneuver. Again, he's smooth. Like, that's your demeanor. What would be your advice for some guys or NFL co-partners or just people in general when they're struggling with a retirement? Like, what would be some advice for you that you could give them of how you could, with your words and experience, to help them out, and then future guys that are going to retire?
From one aspect that I would say, and this is no disrespect to you or anybody that do this, but for me, I kind of find that, like I say, it goes back to ego and certain things, right? When a lot of guys retire, one of the things that you hear them talk about a lot is they miss the locker room, right? Guys will play all day if they just had to show up on Sundays, but it's the locker room. Those are the things that you miss, right? You miss talking to guys, the fun, all that fun stuff, right? The brotherhood in the locker room. And so what I tell people when I talk to them in a serious manner is, you have to understand that you're no longer a professional football player. You're a former player. Right now, you're a normal civilian in the world, right? You are a former football player, but you're a normal civilian in society. So you just got to find your new locker room. So for me, I don't have a problem going to...
Smooth, man.
I don't have a problem. I don't have an ego too big to go to these little workout gyms where you going in there with people that work 9 to 5s every day, but they freaking showing up, working out every day. And now they looking for you to be there at 6 o'clock every morning. They wait, hey, you gonna be here in the morning? I'll be here. You know what I'm saying? And these people They become your new locker room. They become your funny stories. They become your accountability partners, the people that look for you to show up every day. And when you don't show up, they want to know, where were you at? You ain't come yesterday. We missed you on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? The whole time, you're still pushing yourself because guess what? You're just a professional athlete. And now you're working out with regular Joes. But some of those guys are strong, bro.
Yeah.
And you sitting over there like, freaking, hey, man, this guy's whooping my rump today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even later, I be getting whooped. They be whooping my, I be like, God. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you just got to find your new locker room, whatever it may be. But don't be afraid to put yourself out there in the right environment. Don't always feel like you got to close yourself off. Oh, I need a private trainer. Nothing against having a private trainer, but
I think
where's your locker room at?
Yeah,
like, where's, you know what I'm saying?
I think just even in general, where's your locker room?
Where's your locker room?
There's one advice, where's your locker room, and that's up to that person to at least try for it.
Yeah.
Try just cool. And it doesn't work out, try to find the next one. If that's fishing, if that's going to the mountains, if that's going to the gym, I think that's an interesting take on how you said that because I've never thought of it that way.
But that's everything.
I know
that
so
I've
many
done,
people
though.
struggle.
Even when I got into the camera, when I bought my camera, I called Ben. Mm-hmm. Ben came out. I paid him. He put me through a whole hour tutorial, kind of just showing me basic things of the camera. But when I went into the camera world, the photography video, I was an NFL football player. But I'm a rookie over here, bro. Like, I don't know anything. Again, so these guys...
Ego,
right? Yeah. These guys, they're the vets. So now you got to use who you are, right? So now they know you as a great football player. Mm-hmm. You know them as a great photographer, great camera guy. So they want to meet you, but you want to meet them. Yeah. But for two different reasons. They want to be able to say, oh, I met this. And you want to be like, bro, I got to learn from this guy. Like, you know, look at his pictures. Like, he's, you know what I'm saying? And so you're basically just using who you are with no ego to come in and say, hey, man, I'm a camera guy. I want to learn. Like, teach me, you know, this or that. And you put yourself into that community. You start to follow other camera guys and people. And you're just talking to normal people that's freaking getting it every single day. But you just got a bigger head start. Yeah, and I don't have to start out with the minor camera. I can just go ahead and buy a good camera and learn from there. So
and that goes back to the find your locker room. Yeah. So it's cool. Find your locker room. That's what you got to do. So that's an interesting take I've heard, and it's cool to hear you from that perspective. Last thing I want to end with, GQ, you've had I'm going to put you in the same category because I always talk about people like, I'm going to mention Calvin Johnson and Andre Johnson. You were able to play with Andre Johnson when you were with the Texans, and you were able to play with Calvin Johnson. I think both damn near in their primes, right? Like that's them. I'm going to put you in that category too because I don't want to leave you out. Being able to go against the practice with them every day, both of the guys. And I talked about being a high-level performer and having a chip on your shoulder and you have that mentality. What I want to end with, GQ, is yourself, some of the battles you had with them, and why they are the elite of elite when it comes to having a chip on the shoulder and why you guys are all in that category. Basically, what is the quest for greatness for guys like you guys tended out with?
I mean, I think we've hit on it, in my opinion. Never feeling like you're the best. You know, for those guys.
Even a Calvin Johnson, Andre
Johnson. You got to always feel like I'm not there yet. And this is a crazy story, right? So when I was coming out, before I got drafted to the Texans, right? The DB coach used to call me all the time, and he'd ask me. He'd be like, "Hey, you know, if we draft you, you know, you ain't gonna be this how you talk, right? You know, you ain't gonna be scared to cover Andre, right? You know, everybody nameless and faces out here, right? Like you can't be scared, right? Because the coach, he was the assistant DB coach. He was actually from the same county that I was from growing up, so he didn't know me, but he knew I'm from the same place you from, right? So he's like, if we draft you, you know, you ain't gonna be afraid to cover Andre, right? You gonna come out here and compete, huh? I'm like, bro, I'm gonna compete. Like, I ain't gonna be scared, right? And it's so crazy, right? So I get drafted to the Texans, and like I say, we didn't have a rookie minicamp. We showed up for OTAs, bro. My first day of practice, I'm freaking lining up in front of Andre Johnson, bro. And it was like, it's one of those moments that you always have that, you know what I'm saying? You always have that, you know, we talk about it, fight or flight, sink or swim. You always have those moments. And that don't mean you got to win every time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean you're going to win every time. But in that moment, I'm lining up in front of Andre, and that's all I hear in my head. You ain't going to be scared to cover Andre, right? Hey, man, they nameless and faceless. And I'm looking at him, bro, and I'm just like, oh, heck, this is Dre. And I just competed. And I'm not saying that I locked Dre down. Dre was a freaking crazy. But I just competed every day. You know what I'm saying? I lost some, I won some, but I just competed. You know what I'm saying? But Dre was that guy that every time I lined up in front of Dre, I remember hearing him say, you ain't gonna be afraid to cover Dre, right? You ain't gonna be afraid to compete against Dre. So every time, Dre brought the best out of me, every single time. And so when I left there and I went to Detroit, mm-hmm. They paid me to come to Detroit, right? But I had that same mentality against Calvin because Calvin was great too. And every freaking time that I went out there, now it was like, in one situation, I was fighting to earn my respect. In this situation, I was fighting to keep it. You know what I'm saying?
Always fighting.
Always fighting. And so every day I showed up like, if I don't do nothing else, I'm going to compete against Calvin every day. And those guys were great, man. And so, like I say, always having, like I say, in one situation, I was fighting to earn it, right? 23, you're fighting to become who you are today. You gotta fight every day to stay who you are. It's hard to make it. It's harder to stay.
Say that one more time.
It's hard to make it, but it's harder to stay.
That's big facts. That's a great. I'm gonna use that quote for the board. GQ, it was a pleasure. Sly was entertained. I love your insight on the post career stuff. It's good to hear that. That's how you're maneuvering through things. If you took away kind of how both of us operate is chip on your shoulder, prove them. He's more of a prove them right guy. I'm more of a prove them wrong. And then I'm going to prove you right on top of it. High level performers, Pro Bowler, family man, adversity. You know, he's somebody that I kind of took for granted. In the sense when I was in my training world, so I want to say I appreciate you in our times. I've sent you a text about a year ago, like, damn, I missed those days. But I appreciate your hard work and your dedication to Congo. We'll take one more shot, close this out. And speaking of Congo, how do you like the Congo subs?
Man, they're actually cool, man. I use them every day when I go and work out. And I do boot camp right now, man. I mean, I
That's
do
good.
something.
No, I'm happy for him. You got something working for you.
I
in
do
your locker
boot
room.
camp. It's fun. And then I got a membership at the gym, so I go and I can lift heavy if I want to. But like going to do that stuff, man, like I say, it's fun. It's competitive with different people. But I take them every morning, and I'm not gonna lie. I bought them. When did I buy them? Probably about a month ago.
Yeah, a month ago.
It took me a little while. I love the my rehydration drink.
Okay, Warrior.
Warrior. It took me a little while for the pre-workout because it's a big scoop, and I had the mango, so the mango had to grow on me a little bit. But I will say, I've only had to go use the bathroom one time.
Okay.
So I think that's a major dub. I feel great. I feel great, and I go work out. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like the jitters or anything from caffeine or how a lot of these pre-workout stuff. I don't feel any of that stuff, man. I feel good. It goes down smooth. It just, like I said, it took me a little while to get used to the mango for me. But and I've only had to go use the bathroom one time. One time.
And one time is the sell. GQ, we are closing out Daily Dose. Tell your truth. GQ's truth similar to my truth. Likes to prove people wrong and right. Chip on his shoulder. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you supporting our brand and our business. And from
No
day
doubt.
one, thank you, man. Daily
Thank you.
dose. Glover Quin. You're not down with that? We got 2 words for you. Well, I do. Suck it. Oh, he's got that suck it! Peace. Like, subscribe, share. It's awesome, GQ.
Turn my headphones
That's
up.
good, man.
Louder.